right, so welcome to the Empowering Minds Mental Health Podcast. Today, my guest is Chrissy. Chrissy is a holistic business coach for burned out and stressed entrepreneurs who want to redesign their life and business to what truly matters and so that they can actually sustain it, achieving more by doing less and feeling peaceful at the same time. She started her first business as a virtual assistant when she was 22 years old. Since then, she tried out many different services such as social media management, podcast management, digital business management, etc. She saw the behind the scenes of many different businesses from solopreneurs, excuse me, over small to bigger remote teams and learned very quickly what it takes to run an online business. Chrissy, thank you for accepting my invite and joining in on tonight.
Thank you so much that I get the chance to be on this and talk to you.
Absolutely. I'm ready to learn some things that maybe I can apply um in my own business journey. This is new for me, so I'm learning. So I hope to gather a lot of information from you tonight myself.
Well, perfect. Ask me everything you want to know.
All right. So with that being said, question one, why do you think focusing on energy management is better than just managing time?
I love this question. Thank you for asking it. Honestly, time is limited, right? And time is something that we made up as humans, right? This whole
Hmm.
concept of, okay, we have a Monday and a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and then our days are 24 hours long, and then we have a year that's like 365 days. And like it's fine. I get it why we put that in place and how it makes sense with the sun, like sunset, sunrise, of course. But by now, we attach way too much meaning to times. For example,
Hmm.
like when we wake up at noon, 11 a.m., noon, 1 p.m., the immediate thoughts are, oh my God, I've been sleeping for half of the day. Oh my God, I'm so lazy. Like, how am I gonna get anything else done today? Like we
Hmm.
immediately throw away the whole day just because we didn't get up as expected in the morning because we're all supposed to be morning people, right?
Hmm.
Getting up at 6, 7, 8, especially as entrepreneurs, 5 a.m. club, you know it. I'm definitely not part of that. Definitely not. But I feel like, when we plan our life and our businesses based on time, we take away our humanness. Because sometimes we're going to have phases where we can't focus on the business, where we can't focus on being productive, where we are not productive, especially as women. We have 4 different phases because of our infradian rhythm, right? We have a female cycle, and we have a different kind of energy every week of those 4 phases. So if
Yeah.
there's a certain week, for example, I'm currently, actually, you are my only call this week. Like, I'm currently PMSing hardcore. I'm going to get my period in like 1 or 2 days. No Pomodoro technique is going to help me in 2 days when I have period cramps. Like, no Pomodoro technique, no time
Yeah.
blocking technique is going to make me more productive on that day. But what is going to make me more productive is allowing myself the space to prioritize myself, meaning I'm clearing my schedule. I sleep as long as
Mm.
I want to. And that way, plus, I'm not telling myself that I'm a lazy human being. I'm actually seeing that as part of the productivity cycle because it is, right? The mind and the body need the space at some point to really rest and calm down without the actual, like, oh my God, I'm so lazy. Like, how come I'm just taking off like 2 days of a work week and like all of these bullshit that we're telling ourselves, which actually creates the stress, right? So instead of that, I'm actually gonna approach it with a calm mindset in a way that I see it as part of the productivity cycle. It's a necessity, it's not an option. And that way, I'm actually going to regain my energy back even quicker. Because the thing is, we will always have energy highs and we will always have energy lows. There is no person on this planet who only has energy highs, no matter how many high vibe YouTube videos you have watched. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
there will always be low phases. And if you learn how to properly manage them, it is going to make you so much more productive, but also so much more peaceful and calm when you start to manage your energy instead of your time.
That makes sense because I don't know. Sunday, I wasn't feeling 100%. And I remember I was wrapped up in a blanket and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a week off of Facebook. I'm going to do a social media
Hmm.
detox. And so I'm just listening to you. So I'm real big on managing time. Like I have to structure my time. But even with that, I have still found myself not as productive because I was busy, if that makes sense. And so
Yeah,
I experienced like a little fatigue and burnout. So this week, so today is day two, and I've actually gotten more accomplished just deciding, you know what, I'm gonna take this week off. You know, I do have this podcast, but a lot of other things that I had planned, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do that this week. And I feel better even with my energy. So this is good. I need to focus more on energy management instead of managing
yeah.
my time so much.
Like I love that for you, especially because so time management makes sense, right? But not as a first step. Like when you are
Hmm.
stressed as fuck, when you are burned out, when you can't like get out of your busyness, can't get out of your stress cycles, time management is the very last thing you need to work on.
Hmm.
And it's because like in our society, we are conditioned to be busy. We are
Yes.
conditioned to always work. Like literally, how our society works is you need to work all the time and you need to do better and more all the time. And no
Yep.
matter what you do, it's never going to be enough anyway. So
Yep.
that's why, even when we ask each other, oh, how are you doing? It's so common and so normal and almost so expected for you to say, oh, I'm busy, because then we think, oh yeah, yeah, she's contributing, she's doing stuff, like she's got stuff going on for
Hmm.
her. But if somebody would say, oh, actually, I didn't really feel good like yesterday on Tuesday, so I just took the day off and just spent it in my bed, everybody would be like, but don't you need to like work? I mean, maybe they wouldn't say it to your face, but that would be the immediate
Hmm.
thought, right? Like, how come you get to take a day off and not do anything,
Right.
So, like, we are literally conditioned to live in a hustler identity or like be born and raised with a hustler identity. And
Yes.
that is why it's so difficult for us to actually rest, because that is just not part of our identity. That is not part of our society. That is not part what we have been taught. We have been taught to do, and that being is
Hmm.
not enough, and that resting is lazy. And if we still hang on to this identity, which of course happens subconsciously, right? We will never make the conscious decision to just rest and for that to be okay, right? That is conscious effort that you need to put in. Because as part of the hostile identity, you don't choose yourself. Your work is your priority. You needing the validation from other people is the priority.
Mm.
You needing to achieve your goals in the fastest possible way is your priority, not your well being, but these things, right? And we need to shift the focus to, okay, actually, when I fill my own cup, when my well being is my priority on a physical level, on a mental level, on an emotional level, I still get to achieve my goals.
Hmm.
Maybe not in a timeline that I attach to it, but I'll achieve it in a mentally, emotionally, physically healthy way. And the only reason why you're so stressed about achieving your goals in a certain timeline is because you attach a certain meaning to it. And part of it is because society is telling you that you need to achieve that within a certain time frame. But it's not because you actually need to do that, or because we actually, gain anything good from that timeline that you attach to it. Right. So the first
Hmm.
thing is we work on moving away from the hustler identity to the peaceful entrepreneur identity. And part of that is, how can I trust my body again? Because as I said already, we are designed to work in a cyclical way. Like we naturally have energy highs and energy lows. It's just going to happen. And it's a cycle. So if we know how to manage our energy, that is how we can trust our bodies again. And that is how we can create sustainable working models based on our own data, not just based on a random productivity book by a guy who will never know what it means to have a female cycle, right? And then once we understood that, and then when we worked on all of that, Then we can add on time management techniques. When I know in 2 weeks in my summer phase, I have those 2 days where I'm like getting so much stuff done because I have so much energy. That
Hmm.
is how I can use the Pomodoro technique on those 2 days. That will make me more productive.
Okay. I'm jotting some things down. So this is very helpful for me. And so at this, I want to thank you because the two questions that I was going to ask you, you've already answered them. So I want to
Oh,
thank
great.
I want to thank you for providing like some simple tools that people can use to like keep their energy levels up as far as focusing in on like energy management. And I also wanted to thank you for like clarifying and helping people to understand their own energy patterns and how that can help us work better as entrepreneurs. So thank you for that. I wanted to ask you if you had any I guess maybe like final thoughts, or did you have anything that you want to resonate to the listeners who will be watching this or listening to this later on?
Yes, so I do want to say two important things actually, if we still have time
Yes,
for
ma'am.
that.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of things that impact your energy, right? It's your sleep, it's your female cycle, it's your circadian rhythm, it's how you manage your emotions, it's your relationships, the people you surround yourself with. Like a lot of things are impacting your energy. So it's important that you look at all of these things, of course, not at the same time, but at some point you need to look at all of these things because they impact how our energy flows.
Hmm.
So what I recommend is that I did my own like 8 months energy tracking experiment. So how that pretty much works is you literally take your notebook and a pen, you take 2 minutes out of your time, and every day at the end of the day, you're going to ask yourself, how much energy did I have today from a scale of 1 to 10? What was my average mood today? What was my highlight and low light today? Like what went well, what didn't go well?
Hmm.
And then what is the tool that I'm looking into? Is it my sleep? Is it my female cycle? Is it my circadian rhythm? And then you basically track that over time. And then after a couple of months, when you have some data about you, I can guarantee you when you look back, you will find patterns. You will find the days, the hours of the day, the weeks, the months where you are always low on energy, and
Yep.
you will figure out what people in your surroundings are toxic that drain you of your energy. You
Yeah.
will figure out this one thing that always amplifies your energy. Maybe it's that one song that you listen to, but you were never aware that it would give you so much energy, right? But
Hmm.
if you document these things, even if it's just a few keywords for a couple of months, I can guarantee you there is so much valuable information in there that will help you kind of like work with your body better, trust your body better.
Hmm.
And what you will see when you track is you have natural lows and you didn't need to do anything to get back to the energy high. Like, no matter how crappy you feel during your energy low, there will always, always, always be an energy high. And when you track that, you will see that. And that is proof for your brain so that it can finally stop telling you that you are a lazy ass when you are resting.
Yep.
Okay. So that is the one thing, one out of the two that I really want to like put in the world, like start tracking your energy. Ignore all of these productivity books that tell you to work in a certain way because you have a very different body, you have a very different energy. Your highs might not be other people's highs, right? So
Hmm.
it's time to look at yourself and time to track your energy and work with your own data. Okay, and the second thing is because I already told you that we are programmed to be in this like hustler identity, and part of that is because of the circadian rhythm. Our circadian rhythm is the 24-hour patterns in our body, like these like internal clock that is running in the background.
Hmm.
And part of it is whether you are a morning person or a night person, like the typical like, are you a night person or like, are you a morning person? Typical kind of question. And I want to point out that all of our current systems, like the education system, the corporate world, anything basically is linked to the morning circadian rhythm, like the morning chronotype. So within the
Hmm.
circadian rhythm, we have four different chronotypes, not only two, we have four. We have the night person, we have the morning person, and we have two types in between that nobody ever talks about, meaning that for approximately 75 to 80% of the population, the morning person is not even the energy cycle that they resonate with, but we are all trained to become morning people. So for most of us, we don't even know what it means to work with our energy or with our highs in our energy because we were trained to be 5 a.m. club people or like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. club people, right?
Yeah.
With our jobs and with our schools. And like, we don't even know what it feels like to be super energetic because we didn't even get the chance
Right.
to do that, right? Because we only have one system running currently. And what I also want to say with that chronotype, we also have, again, the female cycle, and all of our current systems are, of course, not set up for the female cycle. Everything that we have right now is set up for the 24-hour hormonal pattern of men. So, of course, we are feeling like we're falling behind. Of course, we're feeling like we can't keep up because none of these systems are based on our energy. They're just based on one out of two hormonal patterns and one out of four chronotypes. Like, what? Do you see that there's so much room to grow when it comes to like productivity, working with your energy? Like there's so many more different ways of working. I mean, like I can't even I mean, I could talk about this for hours, for weeks, right? But like there is so much work that we can do on this. So if you ever feel like you can't keep up or it's too much or this Pomodoro technique hasn't worked for you, but it has for your neighbor, whatever, like focus on yourself, start to track your energy, and start to create your own sustainable working model, whatever that means for you. That is
Mm-mm.
what I want to say.
All right. I don't, my phone just rang. I knew it was gonna do that. I thought I had powered my phone all the way down, but so I'm sorry about that. All
No
right.
worries.
So I will be in contact with you soon to give you the link in case you want to share it on your platforms. So I will
Mhm.
do that tonight. And so thank you again for making time in your schedule to come on to the show tonight. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for the space. I really love talking to you.
I enjoyed you too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.